Hey guys, it's Vince. Today I have before me all of the new components that I'm bringing to market in mass production now, because first and foremost, the Omni-Vise you've seen in many videos, and I've had trouble keeping these in-house. It's probably one of the most sought after tools that I've developed, and I can tell you right now we've got quite a few now in-house, so we will be taking orders for these, but I want to go over briefly how advanced this unit is if you're looking for a micro type vise that goes above and beyond what's currently on the market. The unit comes with rotational rubber jaws. And you can see this, they work like fingers, essentially wrapping themselves around whatever component you're working with, also rubber padded inside, so that we make sure we don't mar anything. These open to 90 millimeters. And another very unique feature is, on the handle, you can see this position. A lot of times, most vices do not allow you to move from this position. This has what's known as a socket lock feature. So when you rotate, you pull out, they're spring loaded, and you rotate, it will lock just like a socket, but it moves the handle in a different position to articulate you having more leverage. Very, very powerful. Okay? Units themselves, jaws are 60-61, arm is 60-61, plate is steel. It is drilled and tapped on all four corners. I'm going to show you why in a second. This is 3 millimeter thick, and of course, being steel, it's magnetized. In order to adjust this, you just loosen right here, adjust the wing nut, and now you can come out and do what we got to do. You can see everything runs into position. So we're all set there. Lock it. Boom. Hardware here is stainless, and you have your aluminum thumb screw, so that will be for adjustment. Everything inside there is knurled, so it locks. Of course, you would not use friction to turn this, you just loosen it. If you use friction, you're going to grind it down, so you just loosen it up and get her into position and lock her down. So very, very simple. Now I'm going to show you how advanced this jig is, because I have mine here, and mine has my stay put mounted to it. It also has, because the plate is steel, my magnetic jig system, which is adjustable for wiring. It has silicone pads. You've seen this on my channel before. If you need to adjust tension, you can see we have a spring. You simply rotate the head, and as the head's rotating, it's threaded. You can see it's compressing against the spring, meaning now you have more tension on whatever wires you're trying to hold. And being they have silicone insulator pads, it's going to not be non-marring as well. And again, these are magnetized, so lock them into place, good to go. Stay put on the jig itself allows for a complete system. You can hold virtually whatever you want. If the stay put's in the way, move it out of the way, you can rotate it wherever you need to go, bring it back, and now you've got what I consider to be, I know for a fact, the most durable vicing and jigging system on the market for soldering you will get, or small assembly. If you're doing anything with more micronized assembly, you want precision, this is the way to go. You can add another stay put over here. You can move your vices anywhere you want on the actual jig plate, and that's what makes this extremely unique. So again, you can see how this is nice and clean. You can move it out of your way, and everybody's happy. Of course, we have rubber feet, and we're good to go. So that covers this unit. Next product to discuss, and this has been a couple months in production. This is the new AudioOhms ETH-Compact Ethernet motion controller. Okay, you can see we've got our two LPH26 ports right here, and we also have additional ports right here, and these are for outputs and inputs depending upon what you're working with. And what you have here is essentially another Ethernet control board with mass amounts of options. Let me explain. This unit, number one, takes 8 to 27 volts input for power. It also uses standard Ethernet cables because it uses galvanic isolation, so a double shielded Ethernet cable is not required. This unit now will come bundled with micro CNC motion control software, configured for both plasma systems, mills, routers, and basically whatever else you want to automate, with unlimited G-code configuration, so that you are no longer limited in the amount of licensing and all this other crap that a lot of other vendors do. This is the way these units should be sold. But what makes this unit, once again, extremely unique, especially for my plasma guys, because I've gotten a lot of questions over the years, are you going to ever come out with something really to cover plasma systems? This unit has, as far as I know, the only built-in internal THC support. Now, what does that mean? Most units are controlled by relays. We'll cover that in a minute as far as THC. This unit has, within its firmware, the ability to actually control THC functions, arc voltages, and all types of settings in order to get your system set up optimally and tweak it at levels that we've never seen. So much so, Pitar developed a free, I'll say it again, a free screen set for plasmas that are designed around this system. But what's really cool, once again, I'll reiterate it, you can use micro CNC as it does have a plasma screen set. Now I'll put micro CNC on screen to give you guys an idea of what we're working with. This is running off Python coding, which is, again, much more modern coding. What makes it, again, very unique is that I've already spoken to Pitar, and they will be offering ATC support in custom-made scripts for guys that are now wanting to move into ATC spindles along with full autonomous robotics. So very powerful and extremely well priced. What makes this unit extremely unique for my plasma users, you can add, whenever you choose, a THC sensor module. This THC sensor module that you see before you is the most advanced on the market, as it is completely turnkey in the way I've built it. You see here a GX16 input. It is filtered on the inside of this unit. You see a 22 gauge double shielded cable that comes bundled with the unit. The ground symbol on the one end of the cable indicates which end goes into your controller because it's to be grounded to the ground bus. Being it's double shielded, you know that your signals are going to be properly taken care of from EMI. On the bottom end, you can see we've got a power port. This plugs in. This unit would mount directly to your plasma system, and once you get the power adapter, which will come bundled with the system, you just turn it on and you're ready to go. All the wiring is already done. Mount this to your chassis, and I'll put links up so you can see it, and you are now set to go. No more will you be buying half-ass contraptions that are not fully wired for the end user to use out of the box. That is what I wanted to design to a level that has never been done, including even a GX16 3-pin that's filtered to go into your electronics enclosure that would be wired to your controller, in which case would be this unit right here. Now, how would this get wired to this unit? Well, you'll notice we have an analog input right here, and that's where that GX16, all of those leads would go. And that would, once again, enable all of the built-in internal THC features of this controller. It would enable them all to use this, and you're working with it. Now, I want you to keep in mind this one is different than this one, and you'll notice that. Totally different. Why are they totally different? You see ports on this, you don't see that on this one. This unit is designed to be mounted externally of your plasma system, meaning it goes to the plasma system, it gets mounted on it, and the reason we would mount this on the plasma system is it is working with a 50-to-1 voltage divider. We're going to drop the 300 volt max rating on your plasma system down to a regulated voltage that can work with our board. That's the ideal goal of using the externally mounted unit. Now that's why most plasma cutters that are not typically designed for CNC use are cheaper, is they don't have the filtering of the voltages so that once again you could hook it directly here, because again, if you hooked it directly to our analog input, you could see it says 0 to 5 volts. You'll blow this up immediately. Now, if you have a plasma cutter that does have the voltages already filtered, and when I say filtered, they drop down to an analog voltage that is able to be used by the unit of 0 to 10 volts, which is the maximum voltage this can handle. It does regulate at 0 to 5 on the display sticker. Then you can mount it internally in your CNC controller, in which case you don't see everything you see here. Now on this unit, just so everyone knows, you will of course get the piece of DIN rail, which simply slides in. Do it on camera if I can. Let's see. There we go. And we just slide it in. There we go. And that's it. So if you were going to mount this in your system, this is exactly how you would do it. Whether you're mounting it in your controller or whether you're mounting it on your plasma system. But that is why we have two different units. This is the external one with the GX16 port and the power port to be mounted on your plasma system. This one would get mounted inside your CNC controller once again if your plasma system already has filtered voltages out. If it already has voltages that are conditioned down to 10 volts, you would use this. So which one is cheaper? This is going to be cheaper than this because you see all the additional accessories required. Either one will work like a charm and once again give you guys expandability features not typically seen. You buy this controller if you're working with a plasma. Not only going to get bulletproof signals for the plasma, at any point in time you can update to one of the THC modules and now you have the functionality of a THC. And plug and play. Like I said, this is done. Right down to your port covers. Filtered, you have a ferrite inside here, TDK, properly matched frequency, and then we have our power input on the external mount. And the internal mount is even easier because we have our terminal blocks, and if this was going inside your CNC controller, you would just run the leads required following the beautiful diagrams that Batar put together, and you guys will be set to go. So again, this is an extremely powerful package. I mean, you guys have got a lot of options, especially with micro CNC. I think you guys are going to like it. Once again, I put it on screen. You check it out. And you can see the pricing on this. The modules will be sold separately, so you guys can pick and choose when you want to update. There's no forcing of you having to buy this and then buy one of these. You may not ever need a THC. I tell a lot of guys that I would say don't buy the THC until you know you need it. But if you want it right out of the gate, you've got two options. If you're uncertain of which THC you need, I just need to know what plasma system you're using and if it has voltage filtering as far as we're making sure that we've got voltages that can be worked with. Otherwise, we have to go to the 50 to 1 instead of the 1 to 1, and in which case that would dictate your external or using your internal version of the THC module. Other than that, guys, you can see what you've got and no more worrying about soldering. What cables do I use? I get asked that question all the time. Just to cover it, this 22 gauge double shielded cable, you can see we've got rubber grommets here. You see them right in there. And that once again keeps this nice with its stress relief. This is 15 foot. This is the stock length cable that will come with this unit. These are hand built by me. All modifications done to this are done by myself. These come from the factory, from Batar, and then they come to me and I modify them so that everything here is done to spec and you're golden. So whatever needs to be done, if you need a longer custom cable, you message me. If you need a special connector, you message me. But just keep in mind, if budget is something you're worried about, start from the ground up. You're better off with a consultation or starting with the ETH, go by itself, and then step into higher end modules as required. Like I said, micro CNC, the motion control software, does incorporate a plasma screen set right from the stock settings. You'll see that on screen. And we also have a screen set that's standard for plasma routers, whatever you guys want to go with. So again, I hope that now you've seen, I've been quite busy, These are products that I feel are really going to open up the market. Everything you see here, this is all US made by myself. This is made in Europe, and so is this. So as far as quality goes, you can see the workmanship on these boards. Again, it does come with the aluminum mounting bracket. This is insulated. You do not have to use the mounting bracket if you don't want. You can actually mount the board on its 4-point locations. You'll see that in the user's manual. We've got a reset button up here, data communication, and of course, power LED. Very simple format, but very, very powerful. So again, I hope that this video has been helpful. I think it's really opened up your minds to what's now available. And I hope you check out the video as far as running micro CNC and see what you guys want. I hope your ideas become automated. Right guys, welcome to Micro CNC. It's the only motion control software available in the US by myself that is totally free, unlimited G-code use, meaning there's no limit on how much G-code you run, and it was designed in Serbia by Petar at Audio Ohms. You can see that right here, and it will be bundled with the new ETH-Compact Ethernet motion controller designed by himself and me, and this is extremely powerful, unique software. Let me explain. One of the most requested features of motion control software is the ability to support automatic tool change spindles. Well, guess what? Now, not only will it support it, it will have custom scripts generated for your particular ATC module. That being said, we also did not forget all of my plasma guys. This is the most powerful option. This right here is the screen set for plasma. When you see what this offers, it's really, I think, going to impress many of you because these are a lot of requested features. I'm going to click OK here. You can see our soft limit box is set up here. Of course, it has soft limits. If we go over here to setup, you're going to notice that if I come over here to THC setup, it's got a general THC setup for external THC, similar to like a promo. And then over here we have an internal THC. That's right. The Ethernet compact controller that Petar and I've worked on actually has built-in support in firmware so that you guys can make adjustments just by clicking internal THC, and now you've got all of the required adjustments to give you precision cuts, and you can adjust a lot of different variables. But he didn't stop there, and I have to give him a lot of credit. He wanted to go above and beyond, and he even created a Mach 3 screen set. For those of you that want to use Mach 3, that's fine. You've got that availability too, and you will have these features as well, which again takes it to an entirely different level. You don't hear vendors going through and literally coming up with different screen sets to support every bit of options that are required to really fine-tune your cutting, and that is something he did want to do, and he did an exceptional job. This software, again, is super easy to work with. Again, access output pins. I'm just going to go over these settings real quick. Motor profiles for motor tuning. Homing and limits does have a safe zone. Speed on the safe zone is auto adjusted by the software, so you're no longer putting in 1 inch, 2 inches. Very, very powerful. This will give you the availability, of course, for slaving axis, backlash compensation. You've got that. And then we're going into advanced features, input signals right here, and then we go output signals, and of course you've got your encoders if you're going to use a motion planner, just coming down, button scripts if you wanted to do that. Again, we have all of them for RefWall Home, Auto 2.0, background tasks, whatever it may be, external buttons. And then of course you got your UI options. You can change your colors. Now this does have a background. Right now the theme is set up as industrial, and this of course is set for the plasma system. This is a plasma screen set. If we go back, we'll go to view, we'll go to standard. This is for mill router. Again guys, super powerful. File, open. It'll ask you direct G-code access from hard drive, and you can also select. I'm not going to mess with anything. Here we go. Now, of course, I didn't set the table size up. This gives you an idea of exactly what we're working with. So Very, very simple. Start, stop, enable. We do have a calibration script, so you will be able to calibrate 6-axis. So very, very unique. This module will be added on the next revision of the software. But again, when you consider this as free, it's got an unlimited G-code production. Super, super powerful. Start. Give you an idea what's going down. And you can see very, very basic. Stop. Click on rewind. We'll go to 0. Very simple, guys. You do, of course, have your fixtures. If you wanted to put them in, with your G54 all the way up. We also then, you have your safe Z settings. Tool table. So whenever you guys want to adjust your tools, all set there for memory. Your offsets required for each tool diameter. Tool offsets. So we can adjust everything. You can turn them on and off. Everything is here. Go to 0, ref all home goes to green. Very, very similar to what many of you are used to. You can adjust where your view is. Simple. Jog and pendant window. Right here, you can see how everything works. Set up your jog steps. Continuous step, MPG. Set which mode. Macro log, or in your input output. This is very, very useful for troubleshooting. Many of you guys are familiar with this, so again, nothing new here. Input output signals, probe, index, spindle clockwise, counterclockwise, flood mist. I mean, everything that you could pretty much imagine that would be required in base software you've got right here. So for the guys out there looking to get started quickly and want to use something modern, you're not going to be free. I mean, it's the fact. And on top of the fact, then of course, like I said, if you do expand your system, you can go up to 6-axis, as well as supporting now full ATC support. Of course, you'll need the umbrella, all of the supporting features for that. And other than that, once you get the script, you'll be golden. So definitely check this out, my plasma guys. This is something you definitely want to pay attention to.